We're going to learn today about what annoys me about my former partner.
Hello. No, I'm sorry.
So this is our first question. You see, this is the way to go. You can complain, put it in writing. Put all your complaints about all your former partners in writing. Also our friends at home. Whatever you owed for them, all the grudge, all the anger. Say why. What annoys you about them? Okay, I see that everyone is excited. The best workshop in the world. Let me write it down. Don't worry, you are right. So let's start with that. No complaint? No one annoys you?
I do a lot of stuff here at work that's taking months.
You can write a book, you say. Okay. It's an interesting way. What annoys you about your former? Or your partner even, you see? It's not, former is, it could be the existing one too. Good, you have it? Okay, continue. So remember, Kabbalah 2, we got deeper and deeper into the Tikune. And today, we're going to understand the Tikune from a different perspective. So first of all, my Tikune is what attracts the best trigger for me in order to overcome my reactive nature. So what does it mean? It means that whatever triggers me, it's actually my best gift in order to do the tikkun. But it's also the most annoying thing, isn't it? Because it triggers, it's painful, but this is the gift. The trigger is actually the gift when you look at it, because if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to work on myself. So this is one. Second, my opponent attempts to distract me with what's wrong with the other person or what's wrong with me, so that I stay stuck in a pattern of reactivity. So yesterday I shared with people what is the name Satan. Satan coming from the word to divert. Is diverse, leasit, leastin. So leasit, it means it divert us to focus on the wrong things that are actually not going to help us. You understand? So the opponent wants me to be stuck and to keep being reactive, being right instead of being the light. Number three, when I remember that the true purpose of the challenge is to help me to transform and reveal my gifts, I draw the strength to overcome it. Consciousness is everything. So this is pretty much the entire spiritual work. How to maneuver between all those triggers that seems to be attacking me, seems to be going against me, but in reality, they don't just want to heal me. They just want to show me open wounds. They show me the klipot, where my shells are. And when I see my shells and I'm willingly doing the work, I have a better chance to open myself more to the endless light. That's the only way, my friend. It's proven scientifically. I don't know how, but it is. Maybe one day the scientists could even see the klipot, the shells, and what happens when you break a shell. We will come to that day, no worries. They're getting there. So in order to achieve a deep affinity with the Creator, we strive to embody love your neighbor as yourself, level of love between two people. So when you come to every religion, what you see, that what is in common to every religion, not that they really exercise it so well, but they preach about it. They preach that our purpose is love the neighbor as yourself. In all religions, they talk about it. Again, it's very hard to exercise it. So the Kabbalists explain to us that this is the true purpose. The purpose is to come to a form of love, not of judgment, not of correcting others, not of seeing what is wrong. No, it's in order to love more. Okay? Love the neighbor as yourself. Yes.
You know that quote where it says like, love your neighbor as yourself, but the problem is
You don't love
people
yourself.
hate themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem. True. You're right. I wanted to touch, I was thinking about it. So it's always the problem, isn't it? So so some people say love others as you would like people to love you. So that's even more accurate because but usually we're doing exactly the opposite of what we don't want people to do to us. You notice that already? Many occasions we don't comply with this. Oh, I hate it if someone would done this to me, but I fall in doing that to others in my behavior. So this is what I say. It's not love the neighbor as yourself. Oh, there is another opposite saying, whatever you hate to happen to you, don't do to others. This is another kind of it's another Kabbalist that said it this way. Okay, so normally two people in a relationship look at each other for energy. Okay, so this is the constant exchange of energy. Yeah, you're looking for someone to acknowledge you, to respect you, to honor you, to feel you, to see you, to give you compliments if it's possible. There is an exchange to teach you. Now, if there is no balance there is a problem. But each and every one of us is a mirror to another person. It means that whatever the faults that you see on another person, it's something. Why do you see those faults? It reflects, but why do you see them? Because they're already inserted inside of you, because you cannot see something which you don't know about. What does it mean? So if there is a naive person that only love and only, he's kind of a fool. We call him the fool. I love life, and he celebrates, and he doesn't have any judgment, and doesn't see anything wrong. He's not busy, like Down syndrome people. Yeah, there is a love that comes from them. They see only the good. They are limited in other ways, but so they don't see what's wrong with you. It's interesting. Because they don't have that inside of them. You understand? So whatever you see in others, it means that you possess some of it inside of you. It's not a meaning that is the exact amount, but it's there. Okay? Yes.
Is that true for positive things too?
Oopa. Say again?
Is that also true for positive things?
Could be. Could be. Better be. So I can love the neighbors yourself is really to try to see the good also in others. Because our default system will always show us what's wrong first, isn't it? We're talking about relationships today, if you noticed. Yes. Yes.
In terms of, so what you see in others, you have a bit in yourself. It's an interesting one, because how about when we see people who are like, say, really bad, murderers, rapists, whatever. So
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about those extremes. When there is extreme evil, doesn't mean that I'm evil. Yeah. But I'm sure that you came to sometimes that someone annoys you to the point you say, I would kill him. You had this thought ever in your life? It's okay, don't be embarrassed. We all had them. I don't know if we apply to them, but it's kind of. So we're all capable of the most terrible things. We have to control the animal within, isn't it? And the people that do not, they become those animals, unfortunately. It's all about that. And if I put you in a jail with murderers, I promise you, you're going to start having thoughts of someone that kills others. Because you are in that environment of cruelty, of evil. So it's immediately going to transmit to your brain what's going on with these people. if you be around people that are very successful, are very motivated, very certain, you immediately going to feel yourself this way too. That's the reason when we choose a spiritual environment, it's very important because it elevates us. When we go to, we talked about, you remember in the past class, about the surrounding light and the environment. So whatever we surround ourselves with, eventually that's what we become.
So you mean the quality could be there, doesn't mean we act on it, that's why we see it. We could see it because
Because the quality could be there, but
Yeah, but you
most
know,
people don't act on it, right?
no, true. But if you're going to be in a very toxic relationship, very toxic environment for a certain time, it could be overflowing you, overcoming you, that you become like that. That's the reason we need to be very careful the environment we choose to be in. You know, very important. And if someone wants to be super successful, find yourself to be around those people that are truly successful. If you want to become more spiritual, find yourself an environment. Yeah.
My question about the love your neighbor as yourself, like, do you run the risk of like bread of shame with that?
No. Because we said that when you truly love someone, it doesn't mean that you enable him. Remember, because if someone comes, you know, and you are unconditional, love the neighbor of yourself is, we call it unconditional love. It means that no matter where he is, whatever tikkun he has is around me, I see the good inside of him, which is the spark of the divine inside of him. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that I comply for his demands. Because he can tell me, listen, I want this, I want that, I want to take advantage. I mean, that's what love is. Love is tough love sometimes, isn't it? You love the person, you feel he's an addict. He's going to ask you for money to buy drugs because he ran out. You're going to give it to him? No. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, so definitely no. If you really love him and you feel his pain and you know that he is lacking the control, he is not himself, he's like obsessed with his drug. You won't give him the drug because you love him. So it cannot be true love, cannot be bread of shame. No, not at all. Yes. Ooh, lots of questions today.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that we're gonna.
my question is, like, I can love the other easily, but liking people is where I feel like, and I see it at two different things. Because love is just like, you know, we're all humans experiencing this, and I can understand and be like, I could love, but they're just people I don't like for whatever reason. Either our personalities
Let's
don't
say you're
match.
going on the subway.
Mm-hmm.
You start looking around.
Yeah.
And the judgments start to come out. He's like that, he's like that, he's like that. You
Yeah.
know? And then what is the general feeling? I like people, or people are like,
Like, I can understand maybe
You
like
understand what I
they,
mean?
no, like the person can be, you know, dealing with whatever that's making them act, be that way. But then I can like not like the representation of it, if that makes sense.
No, but for my question, when you see people around you,
Yeah.
what you tend to see coming out of them,
Yeah.
their limitations or their beauty?
Mm.
Even if you don't know them, you're just passing by.
Sometimes they're beauty, sometimes limitations. And
What beauty? If they're beautiful,
no, like just kind of like,
pretty,
no, like some people have like kindness to them that you can just see. Maybe the way they're interacting, their beauty, yeah.
So this is what we're supposed to exercise. You're going out there, instead of judging everyone else, you just look for something beautiful, even in a glimpse of an eye, you know? Because our default program is to judge.
Mhm.
Most of us. That's what do you wanted to say?
Well, I was gonna say, what if you don't like most people?
Wait, what was that? What
Then
if you don't
you're not
like?
really seeing their divinity, I guess.
It means that you haven't exercised the right muscle yet. That it's better. It's okay, because I told you that's the default. Default is judgment, is to see the lack, because we see the lack in ourselves. Why should we see how other people are great. Only when we watch Instagram and we see all those flashy people, so successful, talking so beautifully, seems to be everyone is following them. Oh, we admire them, yeah? But in the everyday life, to admire a person without knowing who he is, what he is, our tendency is to connect to what's missing there. Yes.
You don't know them. You're
That's
strangers.
better. That's better.
But the point is to see a stranger and be like, oh, they have this good quality. Like, is that the exercise to try to find something good in people you don't know?
I wouldn't waste my time, but definitely if you're judging, it's something that's better to neutralize. You know what I mean? If you're judging. As an exercise, you can start, I love watching people, the way they act, the way they behave, the way they walk. That's the way I am. But I see at times that I can fall into seeing what's wrong, immediately. I can look at someone and I can get a picture of what sign is he already. Why? Because I put him already in a box. It could be that I'm right, because it's all about human behavior. It's all about knowing the program of the person. But again, the idea is to come to that place that we see the good, see the divinity, the spark in every person, especially with people that we have some kind of a relationship with. Yeah? Imagine yourself. What's the whole point? I should see the bad, or should judge them all? This is what friendship is all about? No. Yeah? So normally two people in a relationship look at each other for energy. But again, it's all about this triangle, adding the light. So I know the light exists within you. I know that the light exists within me. And I want to bring the light force into the relationship. That's the whole thing. Because in the beginning phase, the honeymoon phase of a relationship, people are so consumed with one another, They're in love. They see only the good, But we know that it doesn't last. Why it doesn't last? Because there is no light involved there. It's only about one another. But if the light is involved, we can actually continue to grow that relationship. Okay. So today we're going to look at the Tikkun from the aspect of the astrological science. Okay. So as we know, Kabbalah is very much incorporating the astrology science. And why is that? Because the first Kabbalist, the first book that ever written with Kabbalistic text and wisdom was the book of formation, Sefer HaYetzirah. And it's referred to Abraham the patriarch. It's referred to one of the oldest scriptures ever. The idea is that this scripture is only 3 pages. 3 pages. But in those 3 pages, he already talked about the sign of the Zodiac, talk about the planets in our solar system, about the Hebrew letters, and about some other things that refer to, it's before the Torah, yeah? Before the Bible. So he was the first astrologer, you can say, but he was also the father of monotheism. Therefore, there must be a connection. If he discovered that there is one energy force out there, and he also discovered that, there is the sun, around the sun, there are those planets. Now, all this solar system is affecting humanity, affecting planet Earth in a certain way. And it's known to be, in terms of cosmology, that we are spread out on this mainframe of gravity that the sun creating. And it's influencing us. And he discovered those influence. So according to the way the planets were set up on your birthday, there is a certain program that influences your DNA. But what we said before, That it's not a coincidence why you born on a certain date. It means that your soul chose your parents, your soul chose your astrological sign, your soul chose your environment and where you're going to born, if you're going to be rich or poor, if you're going to be more intelligent or less intelligent. Your soul chose that. Yeah? So your soul already chose the day that a program will insert into your DNA, into your computer, and that's the way you're going to run by. This is going to be your operational system. So the astrology described really, it's a science. You know, many people don't think it's true, but it is some kind of a science that tells us on human behavior. And you will see similarities in people holding on to the same charts, to the same signs, a lot of similarities. It means that our triggers, our mechanism, our reactivity are very similar when we belonging to a certain sign. So he discovered it. He discovered the tempers and the different elements. So what is Kabbalistic astrology? Kabbalistic astrology helps us to identify our own triggers as well as other people's triggers, so we can proactively transform our own tikkun and be more unconditional in our love life. Okay? So what's the purpose? The tendency you will see when you start knowing the signs, they say, oh, you are a Capricorn, you are a Gemini, you are like that, you're like that. Putting tags on people. But the idea is that if we know that the soul already chose this kind of programming, this kind of limitations, you can say this kind of a box, why should I choose them? It's already predetermined in a way, isn't it? So I need to be more compassionate towards it. That's the point. I learn the program of the person. I understand the program of myself. Be compassionate to yourself. Also be compassionate to others, because this is part of your program. We meant to be above the signs of the zodiac. We went to defy gravity, to defy our nature. But we need to know what we need to overcome first. And that's the reason we learn the astrological signs. Very important. If you don't know where you are, how can you know what is your destination? Yeah? You know, you're entering to the ways. The ways have to understand where you are in order to get you to where you want to be. You understand? So we have to, in a way, learn our program. So let me read you a verse from the Zohar that talks about that. So we know that the Zohar is a very ancient script that its anniversary of discovery is going to be in 2 weeks, called Lag BaOmer. That's the day the Zohar was revealed as a gift to the world, because all the secrets of life were put inside the Zohar. And everything that we teach is coming from the Zohar. So every year, in the day that it's discovered, there is some kind of a vortex, an opportunity for us to download a lot of wisdom. So we're going to have a huge celebration here, and all of you invited, online and in person, on that day. It's going to be Saturday night,
25th of May.
25th of May, in 10 days. 10 p.m., yeah. Okay, so who can read the Aramaic?
You.
How is your Hebrew? Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, let's see.
I'm not good with the vowels though.
Let's try.
Okay. Ala bemola telia malta amri bnei yazi them.
No, it's challenging. Because there are letters there that are similar to others and they're connected. So
Okay.
when you see the letter Chet, it looks like
Oh,
Vav and Zayin, but
yeah.
it's Chet
Okay.
actually,
Oh,
not
it's a
connected.
chet. Okay.
No worries,
Right.
I will read it. You read the English, okay? You read English.
Okay.
Ella. So
Good.
the Zohar, every time we read the vibration that comes from the Zohar, immediately tap to the vibration of our soul. That's how powerful it is. אלא במזלה טליה מילתא, אמרי בני חיי ומזוני, לאו בזכותא טליה מילתא, ואינון דלה ידי רזדה וקודשא ברכו אפיק, דלה אבה עתיד המווה אלי ברא ואה חזינא לאברהם, דחזה במזלה, למד, לצא מסגנותיות שלך, דאב כמו הדכתיב, ויוצא אותו החוצה ויאמר הבט וגומר. לה לברא עד אחם מילין דרבנן, ואמר לו, הבט נא השמיים על ספור הכוכבים, ועלהו למעלה מהכוכבים, וצריך לפר שלון בדרך נסתר. Read the English for us.
And those who do not know
This secret say, children, life, and sustenance is not a matter of one's merit, rather it depends on the constellations. Take the case of Abram, who saw that he was not destined to have a son, and the Holy One, blessed be he, took him outside, as it is said, and he brought him outside and said, look. And it has been taught that he said to him, leave your astrology, namely, do not consult the stars and constellations. And he took him up above the stars and said to him, look now towards heaven and count the stars. So much for the words of the sages, but they have to be interpreted mystically.
So even within Abraham's destiny, he wasn't supposed to have sons. But because he overcome the limitation of his own karma, eventually he got everything. You understand? So we all have this kind of programming, karmatic programming destiny that we came to this world with, but we can all defy that and overcome that and be above the limitations of the signs of the zodiac. That's the goal. All right? So a little bit about the signs of the zodiacs and their elements. So yes.
A question about the English verse. What does it mean? I find even in English a little hard to understand.
Yeah, because
What
it's
it-
ancient language.
Yeah, but what does it mean, do not consult the stars and constellations? So, because it's saying do not consult the stars and constellation, but then it's saying go above the stars.
So, you know, before Abraham, most of the people were worshiping false gods. So some were worshiping the sun, some were worshiping status. So he told them, listen, they're not controlling you. On the other hand, you can control the planets. We meant to actually take control over the planet. So when we look at astrology, it's not about worshiping astrology and saying, okay, this is what it is, this is the destiny, we are gone. This is our programming, that's it. No, we're here to defy it. We're here to overcome it.
like transcendence, yeah.
We're here not to say, okay, that's the way I am, so that's it. I'm here actually to say, yeah, that's my programming, but I have the strength, of course, with the right tools, to overcome my programming, to upgrade myself, to be above the influence of the zodiac.
On that note, sometimes I have to just not even look at the astrology, even though, like, you know, there's center astrologers who talk about the energy of the month, because I find myself being too influenced by it. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a negative week. So it's like, maybe sometimes, do you find it sometimes better not to know what this?
I agree with you in a way. All the different forecasts for me, you know, I don't buy into that. I don't like to buy into that, even though they see the movements. There are patterns, cosmic patterns that shows on different things. Yeah.
It's like a map for the challenge.
Hmm?
It's like a map for the challenge. I saw it like that. I study like a little bit of astrology, and personally, I can say like you can know a lot of yourself, and this is okay. This is the map for example, my Tikune. Okay, so this is how I can work in myself, right? And for the week is the same. Like, okay, this is a map for the challenge of the week. This is the like weakest areas you can work in. I saw it like that.
So I tell you, forecast I'm not buying into too much myself, but when there is a transition, and let's say we enter to the month of Taurus, I put a lot of attention and I feel the gravity of Taurus over me. So either I surrender to it or either I try to overcome it and defy it. But I truly feel that, I experience it.
It's like a balancing act. You don't want to be influenced by the charts.
You have nothing to do because it's cosmic impact. So if you're aware of it and you resist it, then you receive more energy. You understand? So, but if you're not paying attention, so you become just a robot, an effect of the cosmic impact. And that's exactly what we don't want to be, according to here.
But being oblivious, isn't that also like a fool? You're just like, oh, life is great. You're oblivious, so you're like the fool. So it's like, that also works, no?
Depends what you try to achieve. There are times, you know, because you have many desires. If you turn off all your desires and you say, you know what, I just here to live life and have no desires to achieve more. I don't need a relationship. I don't need to a business. I'm okay the way I am. Then it could be easier. But people need drugs for that usually.
Like, not yet.
That's why they invented antidepressant, cannabis, alcohol. That's a very good numbing properties to keep us happy with just what we have, you know? So it's very hard to numb all our desires without any help from the outside. That's what I find.
So the point
Is to not have desires in a way, or not care about the outcome of the desires.
I think desire is it's the attraction. So I want the desires have to be there. Yeah, I'm all about desires.
But if you don't, someone
Everything
said
is
if you
about
don't
my
want any
desire. The soul, the second name for the soul is desire. So meaning that if I'm hiding or dormanting my desire, it means that I'm dormanting my soul. That's what Kabbalah says. Because numerical number of the word desire, numerical number of the word soul is the same.
so it's good to
desire.
Absolutely. You want everything. But in order to want everything, you have to overcome your astrological blueprint. If you're going to be surrendered to it, you won't be able. So desire requires a lot of sacrifice. Desire requires a lot of training. Desire requires a lot of investment. Desire requires a lot of sincerity. Desire will require a lot of self-criticism. Desires a lot. So people sometimes cannot handle it. So the best thing is to numb the desire. That's the main difference between Kabbalah to the Eastern philosophies. Eastern philosophies, Buddhism, they say, shh, desire, shh, everything is okay. Relax, meditate. No, we meditate in order to listen to the desire of our soul. You understand? And it's not like fighting, oh, I want, so I go and take. It's more about attraction. It's the law of attraction. Because the true desire will attract the better scenarios to my life. It's not about war. We kind of misunderstanding what desire is. Not like this predator that's going to the jungle and in a survival mode try to eat someone. No, it doesn't work this way. Is that making sense? True desire eventually will attract the best scenarios to my life. It's magical because it's energetic, it's a soul, in the soul level. That's what we need to train. Is it answering you, Ani? Okay. So, signs. The elements. So we know that it works, the 12 signs of the Zodiac works according to different elements, fire, air, water, and earth. So the fire is the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The air is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So those elements show us on the main triggers and the main defaults of every sign. So there are groups. Those groups have similarities in forms already. This is the first division, okay? And now we're going to learn a bit more about the different signs and their triggers, their reactivity. So let's help. Who wants to read the first sign of the Zodiac, the Aries? Tell us a little bit about the Aries. Carolina, read.
Me read?
Can you
Yeah.
see?
Better
No.
hear it, sorry.
Okay. Trigger is not being the center of attention, things taking too long or not fast enough.
Okay. Reactivity.
Reactivity is impulsiveness, aggression, disconnection. And then unconditional love means listen attentively, empower with them responsibility and or tasks and provide positive reinforcement to their accomplishments.
So if you are an Aries, if you have a boyfriend that's in Aries or girlfriend that is in Aries, if you have someone around you with this Aries, now you understand his triggers. Now you understand a bit more about his programming, okay? Meaning that if I want to be more unconditional love with that person, I need to be aware of his faults. And I need to help him, to empower him to take more responsibility, to be more patient, to not fall to doing things by himself, not to be offended when people are not really agreeing with him. This is how I'm helping that person in my life and myself, if I am this person. Okay, so next, who wants to read us next? Anizu, can you read us the next one? Taurus.
Not being comfortable, needing to make an extra effort. Laziness, stubbornness, anger.
Okay.
And then create an aesthetically pleasing environment, simplify situations, even use background music, anything to uplift their surroundings.
So anytime a Taurus will fall into an uncomfortable situation, changes, or being asked to do something out of his comfort zone, is going to be immediately triggered. The way triggered is anger. Why anger? Anger usually is related to the element of fire. But Taurus is the fire of the earth. Remember? Is earth, but is from the fire side of the earth. Because every sign has is either water, earth, or fire. So how do I help him? Did you say how do we help him? So in order for us to be more unconditional with a Taurus, use a background music. So yeah, I don't know how to deal with Taurus. I would push him.
It's funny that that's the unconditional love because my entire family, all four of us are Tauruses.
Yes.
And my house is spotless, always super clean, and there's always instrumental music playing throughout the house. So that's like spot on.
They're obsessed by beauty, good food, and sex. That's what they say about it. Everything that is comfy and nice. But again, maybe to advise them that it's good to change, because in the change in the environment you can expand and you can grow. To help them to overcome that pain, that change is the worst thing in the world. Who wants to read Gemini?
Me,
Please.
Elidet.
Lidet.
Trigger, incompetence, slowness, not having all the information, reactivity, hypocritical, superficial. Unconditional love means ask questions, create opportunities for peaceful discussions, and invite them to learn about the people around them.
So what triggers them is when people are too slow, when they like to be in media. Geminis, it's media. They're listening all the time. So if you are around Gemini, understand that they actually receiving all the conversation inside the room. They are like the spy. They need to have all the time constant information. But therefore, because they're addicted to information, they know a lot about a lot of things, but in a very shallow way. So therefore, they're also indecisive in their life because it's the duplicate. All the duplicate signs considered to be indecisive. They cannot be certain. Certainty is a big correction for them. Okay? So, huh?
You mean the twins?
Twins.
Is there another one?
Yeah, Pisces,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Libra.
oh, okay.
No, there is another one.
Interesting.
What is the element for Gemini except for air? I know the air.
The air of air,
But what
maybe?
is the other one?
Gemini, I think, is the.
The story is the fire or the.
If I'm not mistaken, it is air of air. No, Libra is air of air. Libra is what? I don't remember. You have to ask my wife. Okay, let's move to Cancer. Who wants to read Cancer for us? You're Cancerian?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Trigger, being on the receiving end of insensitivity, lack of emotional connection, reactivity, hurt, needy, moody, fearful. unconditional love means ask them for assistance, input opinions, and express appreciation for what they contribute.
Okay, so we know Cancerian, it's a very sensitive, it's the water of the water. So it's double water. So it's the most sensitive sign of the zodiac. He feels every vibration. And because he feels everything, he becomes super emotional and not so stable because of his emotional state. And because it's involved of a lot of emotions, there is a lot of fears. So a lot of fears that involve in his decision making, insecurity. He never, the crab doesn't go straight. He always goes sideways because he's so uncertain. So the sign of confusion, a lot of. Sorry. So if you have a Cancer in your life, please be kind to them. Stop. Be sensitive. Let's see what we're supposed to do with them. Express appreciation for what they contribute. But because sometimes they're too sensitive for themselves, it's good to give them assignments. Do this. Go help this. That's how they get out of their own emotional, how do you call it, emotional turmoil. Okay? Who wants to read the Leo? We have a Leo in the crowd. We have Leo. Leo. The best sign of the zodiac.
Yeah.
Of course.
After Capricorn, yeah.
No, not being acknowledged, not being in charge, the triggers. And reactivity, arrogant and condescending. Yeah. Unconditional love means acknowledge them, compliment them, empower them to be an active participant. And yeah, that's right. I can tell. Yeah.
Okay, so their all essence is by one, they meant to be leaders, but true leaders cannot be leaders unless they ask for help. And that's the toughest thing for a Leo. I have a Leo at home, is my wife. So for them, it's the toughest thing in the world to ask for help.
Yes.
You understand? Very, very tough. So they need to learn to ask for help and ask them for assistance. Okay. Good.
David.
Virgo?
Question.
Yes.
So this applies for your sun sign, but if you have your moon sign and your rising also, is it possible that you identify with those as would those triggers be for
Absolutely.
for
So
you too?
remember, just for you to remember, we have all the signs of the zodiac mixed inside of us to different levels. So when you go about to do your astrological chart, so then you see that the sun sign is the most effective one. But that's also according to the Gregorian calendar. What people don't understand, that the moon take a very, very strong position in their Tikune. And that's where the Kabbalistic astrology kicks in. Because the Kabbalistic astrology puts attention to the sun sign and put attention to your moon sign. Meaning that in the Kabbalistic calendar, you could belong to one sign, and in the Gregorian calendar, you could be to the one of the ascendant sign, either after or either before. So some people get very confused. They don't feel so affiliated with their sign, so they don't believe in astrology because of that. But because they don't know, they have mixed character in their signs. So it's very, very important to do a chart that puts you in front of you everything. But you need to remember that your main sign, especially if it's the Kabbalistic sign, because the Kabbalistic sign relates more to the soul imprint, and the Gregorian sign more relates to our physicality. So meaning, and sometimes they're the same, by the way. Me, I'm Capricorn in the Hebrew, I'm Capricorn in the Gregorian too. I'm like full Capricorn, yeah? It's more, one is the 99%, one is the 1%. But there are no contradiction in the description and the triggers of each signs, okay? The idea is to know what is your Kabbalistic is very important. Also to know what is your moon sign, what is your ascendance, what is your north node, because the north node is something that measure only in Kabbalistic astrology, that shows you on your tikkun. It shows you what were you in past lifetime, because we are the result of our past lifetime. Usually whatever we were in our past lifetime, we will get our correction in the opposite, from the other direction of the how do you call it, of the chart. So what is the opposite to Leo?
Cancer. Oh, Pisces.
Aquarius.
And the
Exactly.
other side, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
The opposite to Capricorn?
Cancer.
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 Okay? So let's say if I was a Capricorn in my past lifetime, my correction will be in correction sign. It's not my sun sign. My destination sign will be to be the good part of Cancer. Is that making sense to you guys?
No, I don't get it.
Yes. For example, another planet in the in the chart of everybody is Venus. And Venus is the planet of the love. It's how to love, how you shoot your love. And in that planet you have a specific like sign. Everybody has a different one in a different position in the chart. So each planet has different meanings.
We don't want to get too much into astrology. Don't
No, I mean,
complicate
like,
it.
if
But
you're
the
in a
idea
sign
is,
in
the
a past
idea
life-
is that the North Node
Yeah.
is a signature to show you of your correction.
Okay.
Because why are we learning astrology? It's not to learn astrology. It's to learn more about our tikkun. This is the most important. What we here to correct, what is our destination, what we here to learn to be more sensitive towards. This is the whole point. We're not here to become astrologers.
So if my North Node in Taurus, so I have to become better part of Scorpio
If your North Node,
in Taurus. So
Taurus, it means that you need to learn to become the perfected side of Scorpio. Yeah.
and my moon is in Scorpio.
So it means that you have already help. It means that your internal, the moon represents the internal, that you have assistance actually to go about that. So that's called like a softer tikkun, because it means that you have the tools already. You see, this is why it's so important to do an astrology chart, and I invite you to, I'm going to show you the link later to do one, to schedule one with Tamar. She's amazing in that. She can help you so much to understand the tikkun. That's the purpose of it. Okay, so who can do the Libra?
Okay.
Yes, please. Can you see or you want
Yeah, I
to?
can say.
We missed the Virgo.
Triggers.
So what's triggering the Libra there?
Injustice, unfairness, being left out.
Okay, reactivity of the
Reactivity, people pleasing, and passive aggression.
passive aggression. Wow. So how we can be more conditional with them?
Check in to see that they are with you, following conversations and participating. Don't let them live in their own head.
Okay. So we know that it's the most indecisive sign of the zodiac. It means that most of the time they're ending up in their life sitting on the fence. Very hard to be opinionated. Backbone. It means that, you know, every person can take them to their own side. They can be easily be controlling. Okay. So their tikkun in life is really to learn to be certain, to just take decisions, by the way. If they take more decisions, it doesn't matter wrong, right? It's already, you know, they're jumping into the unknown. It's helping them to do the tikkun.
David, we missed Virgo.
We did Virgo, no?
No, we did Leo.
We missed them? Oh, poor Virgo. Who wants to read it? Read it.
Okay, so trigger: imperfection, lack of integrity, disorder, reactivity, critical, judgmental, micromanaging.
Yeah.
Unconditional love means ask for their opinions and perspective, even if you don't want it. Give them something positive and uplifting to focus on.
Okay, so the problem with the Virgo, they're so detail-oriented, they're so calculative, they're so logical. That's the reason they fall into the illusionary world, to the details. They drown in details sometimes. And because of that, they're very critical if they're making mistake, and they're very sensitive to other people making mistake. So they become very judgmental because of that. So those people they need to really chill off, not to, just see the bigger picture, see the big picture, not to focus. Defocus is very helpful for them. Now Scorpio. Who wants to read the Scorpio?
Annie.
Annie.
Trigger, betrayal, disloyalty, lack of control.
Okay.
Reactivity, jealousy, hostility, cold shoulder.
Mm.
Unconditional love means be kind, genuine, and transparent, loyal.
Okay. Yes. So their biggest tikkun is control. For them, it's all about control. They have the power. They're very powerful sign that they can manipulate everything around them just to control others. And then, of course, they're going to be dedicated, but they just, as long as you're letting them to be in control over you, they can be very loving. But the moment they have a suspicion that you are not, and they fall into this suspicion, because that's what happens when you're over controlling, you fall into the conspiracy theory. So they feel that everyone conspire against them. And that's where they can become very reactive. Yeah? Sagittarius.
Paulina.
Paulina.
Trigger is lack of accountability, feeling trapped. Reactivity is irresponsible, impulsive, tactless. And unconditional love for them means find a calm response to tactless remarks. Don't take it personally. Give them space and reassurance.
Yes, you cannot take them too seriously because they are like shooting arrows at you. They think they're sincere, they think they're smarter than anyone, they think they're allowed to say everything to everyone. That's their programming. You need to feel their pain. And it means the lacking of sensitivity. They're busy chasing after just and truth in the way they see it. And because of that, they shooting their arrows without being sensitive to the other person. Okay, so this is the biggest tikkun. They belong to the fire sign. Every fire sign usually has lack of sensitivity. Okay? Because why? Because fire. Fire doesn't see. It just want to consume. Isn't it? Okay. Capricorn. The Capricorn. Yes, please.
Capricorn. The trigger is irresponsibility and
Laziness. Reactivity is pessimism, drama, emotional distance. And
How to give them unconditional love.
1 sec, I just have to move something.
Show your support.
Show your support and compassion. Be sympathetic and understanding rather than trying to diffuse drama or pessimism.
Okay, so Capricorns, their trigger is that they think that only through their hard work something can come about. So when it's not really happening, they could be very pessimistic. I don't know about drama. Are you dramatic now? I don't know what that means. But what triggers them is when someone is not complying to the way they see the world. So they're very hardworking. So if they see someone is hard, it's like immediately judging it. Yeah?
So you're gonna work less, David?
Huh?
You're gonna work less?
I think I'm there
Okay.
already. Aquarius. Aquarius. Who wants to read Aquarius?
Mary. She's weird. She won't.
Yes, please, to the
Oh,
mic.
to the
so-
mic. Oh, perfect. The trigger is lack of knowledge, ignorance, dishonesty. The reactivity is rebellious, aloof, distant. The unconditional love would be to invite them to participate in conversation and feel interest if necessary. They love being the social butterfly.
So their biggest tikkun is being intimate with others, because they're always busy with the big picture of things, saving the world, changing the world, but in their They have a lot of failure in their closest relationships. Means because they are so busy in the big picture, so they need to learn intimacy, to be vulnerable, to share. Okay? And the last sign of the zodiac, Pisces. Who can read for us? Lidet?
Yeah. Trigger, feeling incompetent, lack of pressure, lack of structure, reactivity, shutting down, procrastinating, potential for addiction. Unconditional love means exercise empathy, sympathy, and be warm and affectionate.
Okay, very interesting sign. It's the last sign of the zodiac, showing us that it's actually the last reincarnation. But they're already exhausted. Because they are exhausted, they have no desire anymore. Oh, this is, I've been there, I've been that, leave me alone. I feel everyone, don't want to feel anymore, please. So they're so sensitive, they want to be left alone. And they have a huge problem with desire. Okay? But because they have the biggest, most experienced sign of the zodiac, they're supposed to take leadership. So they're exhausted, been there, done that, don't want to do anything, but what they have to do is take leadership. So you would see many of very high leaders in the world that they are Piscean because they got their tikkun. But the people that won't get their tikkun, they would be usually isolated, lazy, lack of desire.
What's the element?
The element of Pisces is water.
Within the water signs.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of questions. So if Pisces is the last incarnation. If they don't accomplish their tikkun, they're coming back.
Starting over.
Oh, over the beginning of the signs?
So better not to be lazy when you're a Pisces. No, I'm joking, I don't know.
Oh, we don't know.
But if they won't finish it, you have to come back. That's the point. If you don't do your tikkun, you have to come back. That's the point.
Okay, and then, sorry, I had two questions. And then my other question, I missed what you said. What was Capricorn's tikkun?
Not work so hard.
Not to understand that what he gets from life, it's not depends on his hard work. So there is a creator. So connecting to the light. It's the Saturn is the most distant from the sun. So you always feel lack. So it translates into hard working, but it's not going to work for him. Only understanding that true fulfillment comes from the light, not from his making. All right? Yes.
Starting with Aries all the way to Pisces, that was the order of
Yeah, that's
reincarnation?
Aries is the child.
Okay, I didn't know
He's
that.
the most child. He's jumping. He's doing whatever he wants. He cares less. Pisces is like, oh, you know,
Old
I'm
soul.
tired.
But Aries doesn't necessarily mean that it's a new soul or like a younger soul, right? It can be old soul, right?
Yes, true. Because it's about pioneering. Actually, most of those how do you call the people that create spiritual revolution were Aries. Yeah, so it's interesting because they're not afraid; they just create. You know, it's a very important element. But of course, they have to be spiritual. If they are just childish and selfish, and it's all about them, it's all about their winning all the time, it's not going to work. Okay, so reflection. Looking at the triggers of those people closest to you, what can you do to be more sensitive to those triggers? So the idea is not to judge them, is to understand their programming and to be more loving, more understanding. It's a very, very good lesson today. I need to think about it. What can you do differently so as to create more understanding and harmony? So try to figure out. You're going to receive the slides, look at it, look at your friends, people, family, partners, and see how you can change the way you react to them because of their programming. Okay, so recap. You spotted, you got it. A committed relationship is the perfect stage for practicing unity and unconditional love. Love your neighbor as yourself. It means that you're unconditional to the program of whom you have relationship with. and you're understandable. You understand that this is his nature, and you are just there to support, to help them to get out, but not in criticism. Before our soul descends into the physical body, it looks for the best parents to help us to fulfill our tikkun. The best soul group is incarnate into, and the best astrology sign for us to accomplish our tikkun. Kabbalistic astrology can help us better understand the people who are closest to us, as well as how to better love them as we love ourselves. Okay, so I'm here to transform myself and nobody else, transforming my thoughts, transforming my life. Because if I transform my thoughts for more, less judgmental, more understanding of the other person, that's it. A very powerful book that can help us to get into understanding the tikkun of our sign. Very, very, very genius book that been written by the Rav Berg. You can get it here. It's called Kabbalistic Astrology. And you can learn about your tikkun sign there. So next week, when are we starting?
Next week.
Next week, it's May 22nd.
Yeah, next week.
We're gonna continue with another 6 classes course, Kabbalah 3. We're gonna dive into reincarnation, learning the abundance side from a spiritual, from a soul level, Kabbalistic tools of protection and more. 50% for whoever has a one-house community membership. Woo! Wow, that's powerful, 50%. So if you are already members on the community, you get 50%. You can get so much more on the one-house community, so many courses, so many amazing. Yeah, so we want you to join that. It's important. We condense it to you so we can move forward also, and you can learn more advanced class that we're going to open later on. Whoever ever seen that, this is an amazing series, such a well made by Monica about relationship, taken from a book, Rethink Love. Very, very strong. I recommend to anyone that wants to improve relationships to do that. And the last is how to get an astrology chart. Okay, so we have our local astrologer. I don't know what happened to me with astrology today. We have the best astrologer here, local, Tamar. Scan the barcode, you can schedule a chart with her, and you get also 10% discount. And she already, and a discounted price from the international astrologers. So her price is like 35% less than the regular astrologer in the US or others. So it's a very good price. Go for it, do it, learn about your tikkun, understand yourself so you can better yourself. Thank you very much all for coming. Beautiful course. I enjoy it so much. Woo, throw your hats. Yes. Beautiful. Any questions? You like the class today?
Yes.
Nice.
I think the center is really about roasting each other.
Literally, yes.
It happened recently.
Exactly.
So
None of
Felix,
us.
I said,
Right. In order to practice that, is it about, I don't want to use the word sacrificing oneself, but in a sense, kind of, I don't know the right word, kind of sacrificing.
It's
your
to
own needs for someone
sacrifice
else?
your ego needs usually, because your soul needs, it's part of unconditional love. That's the purpose why we came to this world, to learn more, to exercise more conditional. But the ego wants more for itself,
So
so
should we
it's
do
contradict with loving others.
Right. So should we do physical actions to help us practice loving thy neighbor as thyself?
On all level, on the thought level, on the emotional level, on the action level. Yeah, you have to learn to exercise it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you soon around.
Thank you.